Have you ever wished you could read someone's mind? Imagine the power of truly understanding people, knowing what they think or feel without them saying a word. While it might sound like fantasy, there are ancient wisdom and practical techniques that can help us come close. Inspired by a timeless Buddhist story, let's explore 3 powerful methods that can allow us to see others in ways we might not have considered. In a small, humble village, 2 brothers lived together, each with unique qualities. The elder brother was blind, unable to see the world as most people do, but he had a remarkable gift. He could perceive things that went beyond physical sight. The younger brother worked as a farmer, often facing challenges to protect their crops from animals that roamed the fields. In need of a solution, the younger brother decided to build a small shelter in the field and asked his blind brother to sit there and listen for any sounds that might indicate an animal's presence. From there, the blind brother would shout to scare them off. This setup led to an unexpected encounter with a king who was passing through. When the king saw the blind brother in the field, he approached and asked if he had seen a deer passing by. The blind man, unable to physically see, responded with surprising confidence, suggesting that the king's pursuit of the deer might be a waste of time. The king was taken aback, curious how this man could know so much without the gift of sight. Intrigued, the king began to ask more challenging questions, pushing the blind brother to reveal deeper insights. One of the most remarkable exchanges between the king and the blind brother was when the king asked whether his wife was faithful. The blind brother requested that the queen be left alone with him, leading to a revealing interaction. When the queen, frustrated by the blind brother's words, reacted physically, he sensed her actions and used her reaction as a way to answer the king's question accurately. This exchange demonstrated a profound lesson. Seeing isn't limited to visual sight. The blind brother had developed an extraordinary ability to perceive the nuances of human behavior. Tonal shifts, physical tension, and changes in speech patterns. He interpreted these signals with a wisdom that came from deeply understanding human nature, showing that true perception goes beyond what meets the eye. This tale underscores the importance of mindful observation. Mindfulness, in this context, is about focusing entirely on the present moment, clearing our minds of distractions, and tuning into what others are truly conveying through their words and actions. The blind brother could see because he was attuned to details that others overlooked. He used patience, focus, and a quiet mind to read not just actions but intentions, an art that's as relevant today as it was in the story. We too can cultivate this skill. By training ourselves to be fully present, we can pick up on subtle cues in body language, facial expressions, and even the energy people project. This allows us to connect on a deeper level and understand emotions or intentions that might otherwise go unnoticed. Just like the blind brother, we can become mind readers in a way, not by manipulating, but by empathizing, observing, and truly listening. The story teaches us that mindfulness enhances our interactions, helping us connect more genuinely with those around us. In a world where distractions are everywhere, the art of focused, mindful observation has become rare, yet incredibly powerful. By embodying the blind brother's wisdom, we can learn to see people in ways that help us forge stronger, more understanding relationships. By paying attention to specific signals, especially in the eyes, facial expressions, and body language, we can start to uncover the unspoken emotions and intentions of those around us. Let's explore these 3 essential techniques that, when practiced with mindfulness, can open a new world of understanding. 1. Eye movements, the windows to emotion. The saying goes, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and for good reason. Our eyes reveal emotions and intentions, often unconsciously. By understanding subtle eye movements and behaviors, we can gain insights into a person's feelings, comfort level, and even honesty. Observing eye patterns is an invaluable skill, especially when we want to build trust or connect on a deeper level. One of the most revealing aspects of eye contact is directness. When someone maintains steady eye contact, it often signifies openness, confidence, and honesty. They are engaged, signaling that they feel comfortable and secure in the conversation. However, if someone frequently breaks eye contact, this can suggest discomfort, insecurity, or even an attempt to conceal something. For instance, a person who avoids looking you in the eye might be feeling anxious or uncertain, and they may not want to fully reveal their thoughts. While there are exceptions, some people naturally avoid eye contact due to shyness or cultural differences. Breaking eye contact can indicate inner tension or a reluctance to engage openly. Pupil dilation is another powerful cue. When we're excited, interested, or even romantically attracted, our pupils naturally expand. This involuntary reaction can reveal enthusiasm, curiosity, or positive feelings toward what's being discussed. Conversely, if someone's pupils shrink or constrict, It could indicate discomfort, anger, or disinterest. This change is subtle, but noticing it can give us valuable feedback on how someone is responding to our words or actions. For instance, if you're sharing an idea and notice the other person's pupils dilate, it's a good sign they're engaged and interested in what you're saying. However, if their pupils seem smaller, it might be time to change the topic or approach, as they may be feeling uneasy or even defensive. Another important aspect of eye behavior is gaze direction, where someone looks while talking can provide clues to their thought process. When a person looks up and to the right, they may be recalling information or accessing memories. On the other hand, looking up and to the left often indicates imaginative or creative thinking. This concept is sometimes used in fields like law enforcement or psychology, as observing where someone's gaze shifts can hint at whether they're recalling a real memory or fabricating details. However, gaze direction is just one clue. It's essential to consider it along with other nonverbal signals. Blinking patterns can also reveal underlying emotions. Rapid blinking often indicates nervousness, stress, or a heightened emotional state. Conversely, a lack of blinking, especially during a tense or challenging conversation, might indicate intense concentration or even aggression. For example, a person who blinks rapidly when asked a difficult question might be feeling pressured, while someone who barely blinks may be focusing intently or feeling confrontational. Eye movements can also indicate a desire to escape or disengage. If someone's eyes frequently dart around the room, they may feel uncomfortable or uninterested in the conversation. This can happen during difficult discussions or when someone feels trapped. Recognizing this behavior can be a cue to give them space or gently redirect the conversation. On the flip side, a steady gaze without unnecessary movement suggests that the person is genuinely interested in what's being discussed, fully present and attentive. Learning to read these cues isn't about judgment, but understanding. By observing eye movements, we become more attuned to the feelings of others, helping us to respond more empathetically. When we look into someone's eyes, we can gain insights into their emotions, which fosters trust and deeper connection. In a world filled with distractions, mastering the art of observing eye movements allows us to connect more meaningfully, understanding not only what people say, but also what they feel and think on a deeper level. I once had a friend who would look away every time I asked about their weekend. One day, I gently brought it up, and they admitted they were struggling with personal issues they hadn't felt ready to share, and their avoidance of eye contact was their way of protecting their privacy. This taught me that nonverbal cues, like gaze and pupil changes, can speak louder than words. 2. Facial expressions, a map of emotions. Facial expressions are one of the most immediate and revealing forms of communication. Unlike words, which can be chosen carefully and even manipulated, facial expressions often emerge unconsciously, giving us a genuine glimpse into a person's true emotions. When we learn to observe and interpret these subtle cues, we unlock a powerful tool for understanding and connecting with others on a more authentic level. The eyebrows play a central role in conveying emotions. Raised eyebrows often indicate surprise or curiosity. For example, if you share a surprising fact or ask an unexpected question, you might notice someone's eyebrows lifting as they process the information. On the other hand, when eyebrows are furrowed or lowered, it can indicate concentration, frustration, or worry. This expression, often accompanied by a narrowing of the eyes, suggests the person is either deep in thought or feeling some form of stress or discontent. Recognizing these cues can help us gauge how our words are being received and allow us to adjust our approach accordingly. The mouth is another expressive feature. The position and movement of the mouth can reveal everything from happiness to hesitation. A relaxed, upturned smile often indicates comfort and friendliness, especially if it reaches the eyes, producing crow's feet at the corners. This type of smile is a powerful sign of genuine happiness or connection. However, if someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes or appears forced, it may suggest they're trying to appear pleasant while feeling something different internally. A closed or tense mouth can signal discomfort, disagreement, or even resentment. For instance, if someone presses their lips tightly together or purses them, it may indicate they're withholding an opinion or feeling defensive. This reaction can often be observed in situations where a person doesn't feel safe expressing their true thoughts. Being mindful of these signals allows us to adjust our responses, offering reassurance or shifting the conversation to make them feel more at ease. Microexpressions, or fleeting facial expressions, are another intriguing aspect of facial communication. These brief, involuntary expressions can reveal true emotions, even if the person is trying to hide them. For example, a quick flash of anger, surprise, or sadness may cross someone's face before they settle back into a neutral expression. Although these micro-expressions can be challenging to detect, they provide valuable insights into what the person might genuinely feel, especially if their words seem contradictory to their expression. Recognizing micro-expressions can be especially helpful in sensitive conversations, where emotions might be concealed for various reasons. The eyes, often referred to as the windows to the soul, work in tandem with facial expressions. The tiny muscles around the eyes, like the ones responsible for squinting or widening, add layers to the emotional messages we convey. For instance, genuine happiness is often accompanied by a slight narrowing of the eyes and the appearance of small wrinkles at the corners, indicating a sincere smile. Conversely, wide-open eyes might signal surprise or curiosity, depending on the context. The eyes are essential in deciphering whether an expression is authentic or forced, offering a deeper look into someone's true emotions. Forehead tension can also give us clues. When someone is worried or concentrating intensely, you may notice lines forming between their eyebrows. This furrowed brow, often coupled with a downward gaze, suggests they're processing difficult information or facing inner conflict. By recognizing this, we can approach them with empathy, acknowledging their concern or giving them space to gather their thoughts. Facial expressions serve as a map, guiding us to better understand the emotions of those around us. By learning to read this map carefully, we can respond more empathetically and engage more meaningfully with others. In conversations, our sensitivity to these expressions allows us to pick up on unspoken emotions, helping to bridge gaps in understanding. Whether it's a subtle frown, a genuine smile, or fleeting signs of surprise, facial expressions reveal what words sometimes cannot, fostering a deeper connection and allowing us to support others in a more meaningful way. I find that facial expressions are the first things I notice when meeting someone. One time, a coworker had a tense, closed-lip smile whenever they spoke with our boss. It turned out they were worried about a project deadline, and their expression was a reflection of that stress. Over time, by observing expressions carefully, I've come to understand how important these small cues are for empathy. 3. Body language and gestures. The silent conversation. Body language is a powerful form of silent communication that speaks volumes without a single word. Every small movement, gesture, or shift in posture reveals something about a person's inner feelings, intentions, or state of mind. By observing body language, we can understand emotions that people might not express openly, allowing us to connect with others on a deeper, more intuitive level. Crossed arms are one of the most common gestures in body language and are often seen as a defensive or closed-off posture. When someone crosses their arms, they may be feeling guarded, uncomfortable, or even disagreeing with what's being discussed. This posture acts as a barrier, indicating that the person might not be fully receptive. Recognizing this cue can prompt us to change our approach, perhaps by creating a more welcoming environment to encourage open dialogue. Leaning in or out is another subtle but significant gesture. When someone leans forward, it's usually a sign of interest and engagement. This posture shows they're invested in the conversation and eager to connect. Conversely, if someone leans back or away, they may be feeling disinterested or even uncomfortable. For example, during a discussion, a person leaning back might indicate a lack of agreement or disengagement. Adjusting the conversation to draw them back in or addressing their concerns can help reestablish connection. Fidgeting is often an unconscious signal of nervousness, impatience, or discomfort. This can include tapping fingers, bouncing a leg, or shifting in their seat. These small, repetitive movements indicate that the person may be anxious or eager to end the conversation. Recognizing this behavior can remind us to create a more relaxed atmosphere or provide reassurance. Gestures involving the face, such as touching the nose, rubbing the eyes, or scratching the head, can also reveal a lot. These actions may signal that the person is processing complex thoughts, feeling uncertain, or even hiding something. For instance, touching the nose or covering the mouth can sometimes suggest a person is uncomfortable or even concealing information. Observing these gestures allows us to gauge honesty or hesitation. Body language, when carefully observed, acts as a silent conversation where we can hear the unspoken. By paying attention to these cues, we become more attuned to others' emotional states, which fosters empathy and builds trust. Ultimately, body language deepens our understanding of people, helping us to engage in ways that are supportive, respectful, and truly connected. I once noticed that a friend of mine, during a serious conversation, kept tapping their foot and crossing their arms. They seemed uneasy. By paying attention to these signals, I could sense their discomfort. I softened my tone and gave them space to express their feelings without pushing them further. Body language can help us adjust our approach and build better connections with others. One of the most essential skills in truly understanding others is the ability to be fully present. When we're distracted, caught up in our thoughts, memories, or worries about the future, we lose the subtle cues that others communicate through their expressions, gestures, and tone. Being present means giving our full attention to the moment, quieting our inner dialogue so we can focus on the person before us. Presence isn't just about listening to words. It's about observing everything that isn't said aloud. People often reveal their genuine emotions through fleeting facial expressions, posture, or shifts in tone. By cultivating a calm and focused mind, we're able to notice these details, helping us connect on a more intuitive level. The blind brother in the Buddhist tale embodied this approach. Despite his lack of sight, his mindfulness allowed him to understand people's thoughts and feelings purely by paying close attention to what others might overlook. Practicing presence can transform our interactions, making them richer and more meaningful. When we fully engage with someone, we show respect and openness, making them feel valued and heard. This presence often encourages others to open up more, creating a natural flow of communication and mutual understanding. In a world filled with distractions, our ability to focus on one person in one moment becomes a rare and powerful gift. To foster this skill, try simple mindfulness exercises before important conversations. Take a few deep breaths, let go of preoccupations, and remind yourself to listen without judgment. By doing so, you create a space for true connection, where understanding flows naturally, and where every gesture, glance, and word carries deeper meaning. In this way, being present becomes the foundation of genuine, empathetic communication. Learning to read minds isn't about manipulation, it's about building authentic connections. By observing these nonverbal cues, we show respect and attentiveness, qualities that help us connect meaningfully with others. The art of understanding people goes beyond simple observation. It requires empathy, patience, and a focused mind. As we close, remember that each interaction is an opportunity to practice these skills, enriching our relationships and helping us understand ourselves and others on a deeper level. Thank you for joining this journey of mindful observation. Whether you're at work, with friends, or meeting new people, these techniques can empower you to engage more fully and connect in a more meaningful way.